Hey there, everybody. Thank you for joining us on Crypto Nightly. So we're going to talk about the Olympic apology, some advanced trading, and how to make crypto gains really easy. So we're really excited for this one for you guys. Let's get started. Oh my
I'm here.
gosh.
I'm here.
Hey, well,
I'm here.
you know what? At least you made it. At least you made it.
I
It's the
made
least
it.
you can do. How you doing?
I made it. Doing good. Good
Anything,
day.
anything fun, exciting today?
Fun and exciting. No, not fun and exciting.
Oh man. Hey there, Crypto King. How we doing? I will tell you what. I had something fun and exciting, and I'm not going to express my true feelings about what occurred, but I want everybody to understand censorship is real. There are certain things you can and you cannot say on Twitter, and it appears that I said everything that you cannot say on Twitter twice consecutively. So I am banned for the next 12 hours. I can only see what everybody posts. I can't retweet. I can't like. So I'm in Twitter jail, and so here we are. It's rough, man. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, I mean, freedom of speech is only so far, sir. I'm just
sad world we live in. Sad world we live in. And then my dad was like, well, why did you think you could say that? And then I was like, well, Andrew Tate screams blank blank to everyone, or sometimes twice a day, just to let everybody know that he can say it.
Well, that is a different context than what you said, sir. During a very high tension time.
Yeah, I guess there's a heated political situation going on in Venezuela. Yeah. What's up, Jaleesa?
What's going on, Jaleesa?
Big shout out. Yeah, so if anybody has any opinions on what happened in Venezuela, keep them to yourself.
That's not true. Don't let him lie to you.
Keep them to yourself. Anyways, so let's skip that. And so what else we got going on? So we have an amazing guest today.
Yes.
I have two different titles, right? So on YouTube, we have the Olympic Apology, Advanced Trading, and Crypto Gains Easy. And the reason for that is because that's what people on YouTube are looking for. But the Olympic Apology is an interesting topic because I saw, which we were just talking about this a second ago, but I saw where it came out. First of all, the first thing that happened was you couldn't see the Olympic opening ceremony anymore. They had pulled it from the internet.
Yep.
And then the second thing was that the news broadcasting station pulled their resource, their sponsorship from the Olympics, which is crazy. But then I'm over here and I'm like, okay, you had some guys in dresses, scantily dressed, some of them maybe even nude, acting out something on a table that made it appear as though it was talking about the Last Supper, right? And then so this is naive me, and then I'm like, it's like whatever. And then the guy that apologized, he said that they didn't plan on it. They changed the location where it was at. It was supposed to be somewhere else. So apparently it wasn't supposed to be staged on the Last Supper table to be specifically offensive towards Christians. And then so this is what I'm saying. And then Desert's like, what about the pale horse, bro? Tell them about the pale horse, dude, because you know what I mean? That was a surprise.
Yeah, they literally had a pale horse riding down the Seine.
And I remember seeing it, and I didn't think anything of it. And then this guy, theological scholar that we have here, Desert Crypto, starts breaking in to, ancient texts and explaining to me about how it talked about. Go ahead.
Yeah, the pale horse cometh, Revelations, all that. I'm not Christian or anything, but I mean, it was a purposeful affront to 2.4 billion Christians, bro. I was going to mention that, but I wasn't going to put it on the screen.
No. I was going to put it on the screen, and I was going to say I saw many a tweet on Twitter about how that outfit that guy was wearing, sack hanging out and all, should be a part of Halloween costumes from now on.
Yeah. Not only was that the case, he was standing and leaning over a child.
Yeah.
During their debaucheristic depiction of the Last Supper, bro. So
yeah.
And like I said, I'm not even Christian. And when I seen that, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And then there was a lot of little things. They had there was a thing where like the hot air balloon scene where it was like going over like the planet and the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty was like shot in the face and rusting and falling apart.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I did not.
It was
I did not pay that much attention. I would not have paid attention.
I didn't see it. I mean, I seen it on Twitter. You know what I mean?
No, but I heard a lot of outrage.
Yeah.
I thought it was super interesting. But yeah, no, he didn't get it on the news. A lot of outrage. I thought it was interesting. To be honest from myself, the Olympics is cool,
Right.
Like every so often I like to watch the sports and I like to see, which country's the best at what thing. Like that's pretty, whatever. But yeah, I was actually surprised that there were so many people that
I've been watching the Olympics since the 80s. Okay. And every 4 years, we always look forward to the Olympics. The Olympics actually used to be only every 4 years. Summer and Winter Olympics were the same year every 4 years. And then they switched it to where you have one every 2 years now. So summer, 2 years winter, 2 years summer, 2 years winter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and I don't remember when that happened. Maybe it was the early 2000s when they switched it. But
I just want to say that was just so well stated. Like I just feel like the specifically way that was stated is my favorite thing.
Right. So I won't be watching the Olympics. I look forward to it, every time it come on. I won't be watching it. That's just, and I think it's the intent. You know what I mean?
It was somebody's intent. You know what I mean?
It was definitely intentful, and it just goes to show the bigger picture of what is going on in the world right now.
What I agree with this definitely. So I had to go back and watch it to understand why people were outraged, because I thought it was fine, right? Like I saw some things and I was like, okay, I see. I saw the what would you say?
Right.
I saw the chestnuts roasting over a child's shoulder, and I was like, that's probably a problem. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then
and that doesn't happen. That's not that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Men who wear like boxer briefs, like the spandex, the Adidas, or the wicking boxer briefs, even the shortcut ones. Not to mention, old fat guys all over the world wear Speedos, and that crap doesn't happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Especially in Europe. So, and then here's my question: wasn't he just supposed to twist and tuck it? Isn't that the whole thing?
Well, he could have did anything. He could have done anything. He was wearing like a freaking robe. He could have closed the freaking robe. You know what I mean?
It was pretty outrageous.
I was of the same opinion as what Jaleesa said, because when I put out the tweet a couple days ago that I'm on the fence about watching it, and then more and more stuff came out, and I've seen more and more things and videos, I was like, yeah, can't do it. It's just, I just really wish they would quit politicizing their perversions on the rest of the world. You know what I mean? It doesn't, that doesn't belong in front of children. That's the main thing. You know what I mean?
I agree. It was crazy, and I couldn't believe that I didn't see it at first, right? But then,
Right.
Looking into it. But all right, okay, so let's go straight into Market Watch. Housekeeping. Yes, like I said. So, our mint for the JPEG bosses open right now. It's public, so you can go mint a JPEG boss. The mint link is in the description. Make sure to follow at JPG Empire, at the _John Carter, and at Desert_Crypto, and at the Seji3, and at Chinbot Bridge. Okay, so we have a lot of those now. But what I will say is that there is a person out there on Twitter. His name is at John Carter, and he's been inactive for 8 years, and I can't get that handle. So, do what you will with that. Beyond that, we've had some really awesome progressive meetings. We've got a lot of cool stuff cooking up. Anybody that is going to be at Rare Evo, we would like to meet up with you for sure. We want to see every single person that's going to be there, because we're going to be there. And we would love to meet all of you. We'd love to see all of you, answer any questions you have, talk to you about what you like, talk to you about things you don't like. But yeah, we're going to be in Las Vegas.
That's right. 2 weeks, bro.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Well, 15 days, whatever. Close enough.
I find out about my job tomorrow, and I told him, I was like, yeah, dude, I'll do whatever you want, but I'm gone for Rare Evo. So,
right. And you have a live stream every night at 9 p.m.
Yeah, that's why I said I need to have the early shifts, please.
Right. Also, go ahead and like, subscribe, share this with a friend, turn on the notification bell. If you're on Twitter, leave a comment, retweet this. Let's get this out to as many people as possible. Let's get them in here. Let's grow the channel. If you're watching on Twitter and you want to jump over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button for us. Let's build this channel. So Monday through Friday, new time. I know we might have some laggards because now we're starting at 6 Pacific time, and that will be Monday through Friday. So we're here every night. Like us, love us, hate us, we're still going to be here. It don't matter. All right, let's get rid of all that. And we will go in. Man, we had such a good day yesterday and over the weekend. And now we are retesting. So let me get this up. Let's share this.
Do you think what Ben's saying about 48K still in the cards?
No, I personally don't think we'll go that low. I think we'll go that low. I mean, there could be some crazy black swan or some capitulation where we wick down there and then jump back up. But it's just, there's so much support between here and there. I don't see it. I do think that we got the FOMC meeting on Wednesday. We're not going to get a lower interest rate.
45, 50K, says Johnny Tran. And his Elliott waves probably told him. He said that before. I think that this is not the first time.
Yeah.
I think he said it a while ago.
This is what he said. But yeah. I just don't see it. I think there's too much support between here and there. And if we do, it'll be a touch.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We'll down, wick up. It's too big of a drop. It's too big of a. We'll look at the chart and we'll pull a measurement and we'll look at it. But even these past couple months when we were having this crazy action and we dropped down to 56, dropped down to 53, we still, you know what I mean? 53.5 is huge support. So.
And then you also finally ended up with your baby ape, right? You had a Desert Crypto.
I do. Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't even know I had one. Good looking out, Johnny Tran and team. Good looking out. I'll go ahead and show that here in a little bit. But let's get into the market watch. We're down 1.9% today. We are still above 2.5 trillion at 2.511. Volume is about the normal. coming in at 102.71. Bitcoin dominance came down a little bit to 52.4. Ethereum came up a little bit to 16, and 2 Gwei to send a transaction. We got Bitcoin coming in right now at 66,684. Yes, my long is doing good. We just had a little flash crash, little 1%, trying to liquidate some people. I was able to catch the bottom of it, so I am happy seeing that. Ethereum coming in at 33.31. We got Solana coming in at 183. BNB at 573. XRP at 60 cents. Still no word about what transpired on the 25th between the XRP, between Garlinghouse and the SEC. So still haven't really heard anything on that. We got Dogecoin coming in at 13 cents. We got Toncoin coming in at 665, and Cardano back at 40 cents, coming in at 40.58. Let's see what our biggest gainers on the day are. Bitcoin SV, who cares about that? BitTorrent up 7%, eCash 7.4%, another Bitcoin derivative up 6.2%. Aave up 6.2%, Maker up 6.7%, ENS up 3.9%. And, we got a few in the green. Not looking too bad. BitTensor is down 5.7%, ICP down 5%, Helium down 5%, Dog with Hat. We got 3 memes right here that are down. We got Dog with Hat, Jasmine, Bonk, all down. Jupiter is down. Shorted 70 to 66 in the group chat. Bonk. We got Bonk is down. Jupiter is down. Pith Network is down. So, little mixed bag. Some stuff pumping, some stuff dumping. Let's go ahead and look at the chart real quick. Let's get off the 7-minute. That is where... All right. So coming into the daily, not a lot going on, but I am looking at this flag right here. So we're kind of bouncing around in this flag. I did pull a measured move. It takes us to 81. I don't know if that's going to happen, but this is your daily flag. Let's look here. Little bit of a bearish div right here. We got a slightly higher high and a slightly lower high on the RSI. We've done broke down below. I want to say that's the 14 SMA on the RSI right there. We are below that, so we need to get back above that to remain bullish on the daily. We did get the red dot on Market Cipher, but money flow is kind of flat. At least it hasn't curved back down on us yet. So it's kind of just flattening out. VWAP's coming to a point. I think we're just going to go sideways until the FOMC. I don't think CPI numbers come out tomorrow, right? No, there ain't no numbers that come out tomorrow. The actual meeting is on Wednesday. There is always price action on the FOMC. I won't be trading it. You never know what it's going to do. We're pretty sure nothing's happening because everybody's talking about the September one for the next rate cut. So we will see on that. Let's go down to the lower time frame, see what's going on. Yeah, we got the momentum coming down on the 4-hour. We did break the 21, and we're kind of in this channel. So this is the daily channel that I drew. You could even extend this if you want to run it in the 4-hour. And we might be coming all the way back down to the bottom right here, about 64, and then getting a retrace. We do have that bearish div on the RSI. So you can see we're flat on the RSI right here. And we got this higher high in price action. And this is playing out nice. RSI is coming down. It's past the 50 and now it's flattening out. It could turn back up. Jump down to the 1 hour. 1 hour has lost the 200, which is not good. It looks like we fell down. We bounced off this high volume node and came back up. So if we break this node right here, we could very well come right down here. I don't know the term, where it wicks, it sticks. Let's look at that. So we broke the 200 on the 1 hour. Normally you break the 200 on the 1 hour. It likes to come back to the 200 on the 4 hour. Well, that would put us way down to 62. It's possible. I don't think it's going to happen. I think if anything, we're coming down here to about the 64 area. Let's look at Cardano real quick. Let's go back out to the daily on Cardano. Okay, so on the daily for Cardano, we have fell back below. We could not bounce off the 21. So we have fallen below the 21. We came up, retested it. We bounced back down. Momentum's coming down. We're on this red dot right here. We have the VWAP coming down. Money flow, slight curve back to the downside. Let's see. Let's go down to the 4 hour. I should probably go through these charts before I do this. I'm just kind of rushing through, and that is not a good thing. So let's see here. So on the 4 hour, it looks like we've come down to retest the 200, and we need to close this above the 200. This candle is only an hour and 22 minutes old, but we need to stay above the 200 on the 4 hour, or we got more downside to come. We have support. We have a SR at 3840. So if we lose this, it is quite possible we come back all the way down here to this node where this last touch point was. And you can see all this price action in the past right there at 3840. But RSI's turned back up, which is good. I'd like to see the momentum turn. VWAP's coming back up. Money flow's still coming down. I'd like to get a green dot and see the momentum wave going back up. DBSI is not looking good with an 8 and a -1. Not super bearish, but definitely not bullish. Let's come down here to the 1 hour. And we have lost. So we got the green dot on the 1 hour. But this could just be the price action that just happened with Bitcoin just reversing, because we got money flow almost going straight down. We got the RSI trying to get above the 14 right here. But you can see as soon as we broke the 100 or the 200 on the 1 hour, we come all the way down here to the 200 on the 4 hour. And it looks like we are getting above it. We have to close this candle above it, though, in my opinion. Let's see. Let's go to Ethereum. Daily. Ethereum daily looks decent. This looks a little decent right here. So we got like this little trigger wave right here. Money flow going up. We are trying to get above the 21. If we can get above the 21, that would be super bullish. You know, we got a nice high DBSI, 16 and a -5. Money flow slightly curving to the upside. VWAP breaking the 0 line, moving to the upside. So the daily on Ethereum is looking good, in my opinion. Let's see here. Come down to the 4 hour. Looks like we broke the 200. We come back, we retested it. Now we're bouncing our head off of the 50. So this is nice. We're getting a nice little bullish cross right here on the 21 and the 200. This is what we need to see right there. We need to stay above that 200. Chart says it will go up and down and up. Drops Mike. There you go. It could go up. It could go down. Exactly as I predicted. What about Jupiter on Sol? If Sol pumps, Jupiter will pump. That is my opinion of Jupiter on Sol. We don't have time to look into it right now. Crypto King.
I say check it out. I say check it out real quick because
we do got okay. If we got time. Oh yeah, he's not even here yet, is he? Okay. So let me look at this real quick. So 4 hour. Yeah, we need to, if we can get above this 50, that's going to be super bullish. We got the 21 coming up. We're above the 200. Ethereum's looking good. I think we might just kind of peter out to the side here because we do have the momentum coming down. Money flow's coming down, but the VWAP's going up, so that could change. Go down to the 1 hour. We are bouncing our head. We can't seem to get above this 200 on the 1 hour. That is necessary for us to pump. Moving averages are getting tight though. You can see right here, you know, we're playing right here. We're getting tight. So we need to stay above the 200. We need to get above. It looks we broke down. We retested. It looks like we're going for another retest. We got to get above. We have to get above the 200 on 1 hour, in my opinion. All right. We'll look at Jupe real quick. And then our guest just showed up. So we don't want to make him wait. We will go on Binance. And we will look at that. Let's look at the daily. So we do got the red dot on the daily. But money flow has just come into the green. VWAP's coming down a little bit. So we are going to come back down a little bit. Doesn't mean it's going to dump. We do have what looked like a nice double bottom right here. You could even say this was some kind of cup and handle on the daily. Right here. There's your cup. There's your handle. We've now broken the rim of the handle. So, I mean, if you are looking for some hopium, there you go, bringing us back up to about 148. But like I said, momentum's still coming down. We do have this bearish div on the RSI. So you got your higher high right here on price, and you got your lower high here on the RSI. If we can stay above the 14 right here, and it looks like we did bounce off it. Here, let me make that a little bigger. So this is a good sign. We come down, we retest the 14, we bounce. We come down, we retest the 14, bounce. We need to stay above this for the bullish momentum. Let's get rid of all that now.
And yeah, I agree with Johnny Trent here. All crypto is a great entry DCA. End of the year will be changing.
Yes. Most definitely.
Listen, everybody, if you see so much money in your account that you're just like, geez, that's a lot of money, but it's going to go higher, take out half.
Yeah.
And this is coming from somebody that watched $5,000 turn to 55,000 and watched it go back down to 8. And I'll tell you, this time.
Well, I was having a conversation. I was having a conversation yesterday with Sir Lost.
Yep.
And he was saying that people are saying that day traders are less risky. It's less risky to day trade than it is to DCA because all your like intraday traders. So all your risk is done at the end of that day. You've mapped out your day. This is what you're doing. But I push back on that because just because you're DCAing, you still need to have a freaking plan. Okay. And unless you're DCAing into Bitcoin, Ethereum, one of the big caps. If you're DCAing into a big cap and you don't plan on touching it for 10 years, then yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah, if you're reading this, you are early in crypto. But if you plan on DCAing in a bull run, you need to have a plan. You need to have price targets. If my coin 5X's, that's when I'm going to take money. And then you need to take the freaking money when it hits that. You know what I mean? So you need to have a DCA in and a DCA out, in my opinion. So I wouldn't say I understood where he was coming from. I just don't think there's any way I would ever say day trading is safer than DCAing.
And I wouldn't
you know what I mean?
Less risk by exposing yourself to more risk
Right.
more times in a day.
And some of the things he gave for reasons are, they were like, everybody was telling you to invest in Enron the day before it collapsed. Well, yeah, everybody was telling you to buy a house the day before the market blew up. Right, I understand that, but you're talking about the exception versus the rule. You know what I mean? So, let's go down real quick for Crypto King. So we did break down through the 21 here on the 4 hour, and this bearish div is playing out once again. Higher high, lower low. We got the momentum coming down. We got money flow coming down. We got the VWAP going across. Need to get back above that 21. And the 1 hour. So now the 1 hour, it's looking all right. We're in this little bit of a falling wedge right here. We're coming down. Looks like we're turning up. VWAP, or the momentum, might be getting ready to turn. Your money flow is still coming down. Still too early to see if that's going to curve and go up, though. So if you're buying Jupiter for the long term, then by all means, yes, this is a good price point. But without looking into it more thoroughly, I couldn't tell you if it's a trade. Yes, 100%. And that's the same thing I do. I trade with about between 3 to 5% of my portfolio is in my trading account, right? And then so I say I have X amount of dollars in my trading account, okay? I'll trade with that. And then once that X amount of dollars becomes another X amount of dollars, I take that difference out and I put it right into my HODL bag. You know what I mean? That is awesome advice. You should always have your HODL and your trading. Never trade with your whole stack. I wouldn't say more than 5% personally, So that is your market update. We're not getting a pump. So I think it's just sideways until FOMC meeting, personally. Let me close some of these. Maybe this will stop me from freaking jittering.
Yeah, man. All right, so I'm excited for this one. So everybody that is here, we are about to bring up Jade, and he's gonna tell you who he is. And we're really excited about this one because, man, when we start talking about trading bots and different things that are going on and different ways that we could add utility and additional tools to everybody in the Cardano ecosystem, we started having this conversation and it went really well. So we're going to see what Jade has to say for us. All right. Thank you, sir. All right, Desert, I'm going to bring him up. You good?
Yes.
All right. Hey there, Jade. How you doing?
Good, thanks, guys. You hear me?
Yep, hear
How's
you
it
loud
going?
and clear.
Yeah, going well, thanks, guys. It's a pleasure to be here.
Jeez, if I'd known that you were both bald, I would have shaved my head just to fit in.
Bald's the look, mate. Bald's the look.
No, I dig
Yes,
it.
sir. I love it.
So, Jade, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are, and why you're here. We're excited to have you.
Yeah, again, thanks for having me. It's my name's Jade Herrick from Melbourne, Australia. Been in crypto about 6 years. founded a few projects and done a few debugs and a few things. Most recently, we've had our Kumodroid free mint. We've also got the NFT arcade deploying on Scale Network in the next sort of week or two. On top of that, we've got Nebulon Gaming. We're releasing a gaming title for Clementine's Nightmare in a few months. But yeah, I'm ex-professional cricketer turned DJ in Web3.
That's wild.
Did you just say cricketer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? A person that plays cricket, a cricketer?
Professional.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I was a contracted professional cricketer for 9 years here in Australia, which was a fair whirlwind and a hell of a lot of fun. So, yeah, it was a great time. And I only wish I had taken some advice from a fellow cricketer who was into Bitcoin about 10 or 12 years ago and told me to put in about 10K. And it's fair to say I wouldn't be working these days if I had to listen. So, right. I thought it was fake internet money, and like most countries around the world, we don't really learn properly about financials, world debts, world currencies, all these sorts of things. And when crypto come along, we all sort of thought it was a hacker's fake internet money sort of setup, and there wasn't much positive or bullish news around Bitcoin at the time. Early doors, so I didn't dive in, but fair to say I'm kicking myself these days.
Sheesh, 12 years ago. Could you, man? I mean, there's always a lot of those stories here, and I feel like that's like what keeps everybody here, right? It's like you see it, but you don't see it for what it is, right? You see what your perception of it is, what we're doing here in crypto, and then the philosophy and different stuff. Then once you're hooked, it's like you can't unsee once you've seen behind the curtain, right?
Yeah, look, it's very much the Wizard of Oz, isn't it? Once you see behind the curtain and you realize what's there, it feels like such a visual thing. And, I do believe that crypto is going to change the world, and I believe it's already began. We only have to look at recent stuff, presidential elections and things like that. They're all at Bitcoin Nashville and all these sorts of places sort of pushing Bitcoin and crypto around the world. And we've got countries using it as basically their major currency and their asset backing. So, yeah, it's only going to get bigger and better, and yeah, I'm just glad that we're still early, even 13, 14 years in.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Super exciting. So then, was the first time that you got into crypto, you said about 6 years ago?
Yeah, about 6 years ago. So I saw the last bull run. Okay. Yeah, didn't really know what I was doing real well, so didn't have a great time at it, even though things were going up. Look, it was fun, but it wasn't a big money spinner, so to speak. And then, sort of as we sort of went through that, it was just a good grounding for me to really understand what crypto was and to build that sort of bullish case, and my belief. And that sort of allowed me to enter the bull run full noise, sort of go builder mode, become a sort of a Web3 founder. And, once I met my sort of co-founder and partner, Aaron, it was sort of full systems go at that point. And, the last sort of 18 months, we've been just been building and getting ready to this point.
Dude, that is awesome. And I love to hear it. I just think that's kind of like the magic thing about this space, right? So I was recently in the Cayman Islands, and then now I'm back in the US, but in that intermittent period, I was working some Web3 jobs and then doing this. And then now I'm looking at getting a regular job, and I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I could ever go back. You know what I mean? And
yeah, mate, I'm the same. It's I've been off the tools now for about 6 months, and thinking about going back on the tools and being a tradesman, it gives me the cold sweats.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But okay, we actually talked about Clementine's Nightmare a little bit ago, a while back. But can you give us a little bit about that, because it looks like a super high quality game, and for some reason I have a whole lot of confidence in the development team that you have there. I hear they're pretty good. But so tell us about Clementine's Nightmare a little bit.
Yeah, Clementine's Nightmare is an ETH project that sort of has had some highs and lows through the time. Had some real highs and hype in the beginning, and sort of went through obviously a really tough bear market. We're more Web2 based guys that sort of didn't quite understand Web3, which that they're sort of open to admitting at times as well. And they were looking to build out some games, had some support partners and support devs and a few things. And we sort of come along and we've sort of offered to publish their game for them, you know, and worked out a partnership with them. Great guys, unbelievable team, very experienced team, you know, Coinbase, Petrol, you know, some amazing names in their team that they've got set up. And when they sort of were talking to us about the game, we were able to find a 3-man dev team to sort of link under Aaron. A few big sort of contracts had sort of finished up at some major gaming, and the team we've been able to get for the price point's been insane, and what they're delivering is pretty mental. And it helps when, you know, like Clementine's Nightmare has, they have elite IP and artwork, and it really does mean that as you sort of start to establish your game and bring that IP and artwork in, the finished product is going to be, second to none.
Yeah, no, I really loved the artwork. I'm actually going to pull something up real quick. I don't want to pull the video up. I'll just pull up the website.
Yeah, it's got a real sort of, you know, Coraline, Tim Burton type sort of feel to it, the way they went about it. A lot of beasts and different modes and stuff. Yeah, their website's amazing. You know, it sort of takes it through all of it. The sort of card-based game that we're building for them, they've also got planned for, I think it's more an open battlefield sort of set up to a major game, you know, that they're looking to produce, which is obviously a much bigger build than what we're building. But yeah, it's great to sort of be able to use the IP and get it to market, you know, over the next sort of couple of months, because, you know, as you can see, you know, it's as good as anything around, and it does deserve to be, you know, pretty high quality games.
I'm so excited for this. I think it's awesome.
It's funny, my granddaughter is real big into Nightmare Before Christmas, like Caroline and Jack, right? Those are the characters.
Jack Skellington,
right before we went live, I get a text from my daughter saying, "Hey, if you're gonna get Lily something for her birthday, here's the doll she wants," and it's a Caroline doll, of course.
Yeah, well, look, it sort of resonated with both me and Aaron when we sort of went into the meetings and went sort of down that path as well. Being I'm a big, you know, Coraline, Tim Burton, Nightmare Before Christmas, you know, that's big where I'm at. I'm literally covered sort of neck to toe in sort of Disney and childhood cartoons, so which you obviously can't see today, but you know, it really does resonate with me, these sorts of projects. And yeah, it's probably why I'm a big fan of NFTs and the IP and things that they sort of do establish. As there's you know, it does really open up, you know, the world becomes your oyster when you do have good IP and something you can brand.
Right,
absolutely. Right. All right, and then of course the one that everybody's excited about and everybody is wondering about, right? So Kumodroid, right? Kumodroid is doing some amazing things, and we ourselves, we've been building out this platform we're calling Token Empire. We wanted it to be like an easy way that people can track their Cardano native tokens as well as their Cardano NFTs. We basically felt like there are a lot of people in our community that are busy, right? They don't have so much time to be plugged into everything and watch all the different movements of everything. So we wanted to make a place where they can make a customizable dashboard and then be able to set alerts for all of those things. And then so in addition to that, when we learned about this, we want to build out tools for the community to use that are simple, that they can use without needing like a whole lot of a very in-depth training, right? We'll have some educational content, of course, on our channel to explain people how to use the things. But the Kumodroid trading bot was super exciting for us. Can you Kumodroid and about the trading bot, how that works?
Yeah, well, similar to what you sort of said there, you know, streamline and efficiency of time, I think, is a big thing that people don't really, you know, use very well in crypto. You know, we spend a ton of time on Discord, a ton of time on marketplaces, looking at NFTs. You know, like we really don't make a lot of money, you know, for the time that we're investing. And when we sort of dove into this, we wanted to, you know, start to have people in a better headspace around that, educating them that you don't need to spend 10 hours a day in a Discord and things like that to keep your finger on the pulse, similar to what you guys are doing with your app and the stuff that you're going to do for your community. And it sort of led us down the path that we really believe in the NFTs as a technology, not so much as the NFT word, you know, that we've had over the last, you know, 4 years or so. But we wanted people to have an easy, efficient time in NFTs and have something that can actually produce some money for them. Like stop the speculation and gambling on floor prices. Buying and selling mints. Only to have the mint price dump. Half an hour after you mint it. So we went down this path and we're able to employ pretty much the top of the tree type sort of lead dev for this project. He's got PhDs, Masters of Sciences, engineering degrees, everything in this field, and it's what he really does specialize in. And he's been able to build us a platform and a self-custody, fully automated trading bot that we're going to be putting on Kraken, which is obviously privately token gated to holders. And we're aiming for holder testing through August.
That's so exciting. I mean, and that's huge. And then, so like, what can somebody expect to gain from using the Kumodroid bot? Like, how does it just make a lot of trades, or like, what are they looking at? Right? It's kind of like a set it and forget it thing, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much a set and forget thing. So through your token gated access through our dashboard, you can set, low risk, medium, high risk. As it moves on, we'll be opening up a custom dashboard, which you'll be able to sort of implement which tokens you want to, be trading, what sort of leverage you want to be using, what sort of strategies from all the strategies we've got in there. If you want to streamline some stuff and just focus on certain things. So it is really going to open up as we sort of move forward. But in the initial process, we've sort of built it as a shorter term retirement type fund, not in the sense that, put some money in and you retire in 6 months, but more so it's a set and forget compounding type account is what we've sort of built, and we set out to make 0.5% profit on your total bag per day was our initial figure that we were aiming at. So if you let that compound from the first day of the year to the end of the year, and you're looking at around a 5.5 to 6x on your bag in a pretty efficient sort of manner without having to even go into your account at that point, just so that there's a very small percentage of people that are trading that are genuinely making money and are very good at it.
Yeah.
And I would hazard a guess to say 50 to 70% of people in crypto have no idea what they're doing in trading. And then there's that sort of bracket where people do have a fair idea. They trade with emotion. They're not as good as the bots or the professional traders they're trading against, or the manipulators, and they get wrecked. So what we're looking to do is not necessarily say, hey, we're going to make you 100x or 1000x in a month, like these so-called meme coins in the gambling. But we're looking to provide a safe and sustainable manner that people can build a bag and be involved in crypto, spot trading, DCAing. We're going to bring in a lot of different bots that'll sort of function through the dashboard to help people manipulate crypto and build a decent bag and help their financial future.
And I know we talked about this a little bit before when we had our call. So right now it's only going to be on Kraken, right? Because for the reasons it's easier to use. More people have access to Kraken than MEXC and stuff like that. Is there future plans for a decentralized, like for people to trade on DEXs?
We do have a lot of plans. Yeah, so we went down the Kraken route because we're a legally transparent, forward-thinking business. We didn't want to enter into the first part of our business with Kumodroid and having to have potentially 50% of our holders say that American-based using VPNs and potentially illegally using so to speak the trading bot from a government standpoint. So we wanted to make sure that we were more with a regulated sort of sex to begin with, so that we could set that up. And we do plan to extend it out to different sexes. We have had a few people sort of inquiring whether we would go down like a blowfin route where there's no sort of KYC and things like that for people. So we are looking to integrate into other paths. We have sort of spoken about the DEX side of things and the potential of it. There's more fees. There's a lot more low cap coins. There's a lot more way to get wrecked in some of the DEXs. If you look at something like we're on Solana at the moment, if you look at Pump.Fun and some of the things that are going on, like if you don't have everything sort of completely locked up and it enters into some trades into some of these coins, you literally get rugged instantly, which is not really what the goal of the project is about. So we are exploring how we can make that work in a safer manner But the problem is that if you sort of set the parameters so it's only trading the higher cap coins, well, they're probably the coins that you can be trading on Kraken as well. So it's sort of trying to find that balance of effectiveness and safety.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's really awesome. I love that. Love that a lot. I think, I mean, there's just so many opportunities, right? Like, this is where Kumodroid is starting. But I mean, I think I've heard some rumblings in the background of some like very big long-term goals, which, I mean, I'm excited about. I think that you all are really going about it the right way, and there's a lot of opportunity. Just, I mean, for everybody involved, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like, this is just the beginning, it really is. And I think, we've got roughly a 2,500 NFT collection, which is completely token gated to holders for the trading bot itself. So this isn't going to be a publicly accessed trading bot, which is extremely bullish, in my opinion. The more money in a bot, the more people using it, the less the APY and the less functionality it has as it starts to shift markets and things like that. So it's an amazing tool at this stage, and the fact that we're not even to hold a testing and what we're seeing in the background is amazing, and it's already sort of got us thinking longer term with some bigger things, including potentially stake space is something that we're looking at doing, which is going to be a much bigger thing as we go forward, utilizing the bot and the tech and things that we're establishing.
Tell me about that, the stake space.
Yeah, so stake space we're looking to do similar to like a Camino Vault type setup, Superform, .xyz, Hedge, all those sorts of things. And it's in its infancy stages, but we're definitely looking down that path about it sort of works on dexes and volumes and lending and those sorts of protocols. But we're potentially looking at whether we can have some vaults and some protocols that would be around sort of guaranteed APY, running sort of more corporate, bigger money, potentially through specialized custom strategies through a trading bot. Sort of that would work through the token, you stake it to get guaranteed APY, and it wouldn't be staking $10, $20. It'd be more some bigger stuff in that sort of setup. But we do have pretty big plans with what we're looking at. We've been able to find a guy that can build an amazing setup for us, and it really has opened up a lot of paths for us longer term.
That's amazing. Nice. I love that. And then, well, okay, so with Kumodroid partnering with Jpg Empire, right? Now Kumodroid is very much cross-chain, and I saw another announcement, right, from Dancoin, right? So now Kumodroid is on Cardano, XRD, and Solana, right? And then also NFT Arcade is on Scale. So like, yep. How many blockchains is Kumodroid gonna spread out to?
Well, we'll see how that goes, mate. Like I said, we do have a lot of plans for a lot of different bots and different things. It sort of opens the avenue to sort of integrate and become more interoperable with more chains and more sort of businesses and spaces. So, like I said, we sort of went out with, hey, let's sort of build something that works really well for people. We'll aim sort of small and have a small group. And since we sort of started sort of 4 months ago to now, we've realized that we've gone from a narrow footpath to all of a sudden a 5-lane highway with our sort of our options, and like we're trying to keep it under wraps, and you don't want to get too bullish and run your race too quick, but it has sort of opened the opportunity for us to really sort of spread our wings, and it's once we get this in the market and people see, things will change very quickly.
No, that is amazing. Yeah. And I'm super excited. We are super excited to be a part of that. Do you think, as a founder, do you think that multi-chain or like omni-chain is the future? Do you think that inevitably we're going to get that way, where all the chains talk to each other?
Yeah, absolutely. I can see a future not too far down the road where there's 10 to 15 major chains, and a lot of chains really struggle. They all hit their niches as the bridges and all the interoperability starts to build up. I can see, Scale's very big into gaming. Them being, the L2 for gaming, the L2 for DeFi, such and such. And, we have all these sorts of structures across all the platforms, and, people will really stick to their niche. But then through the interoperability of bridging and things, as that gets better, I really do think it'll completely bring it into one sort of hemisphere. Obviously, Bitcoin will be at the top, and then everything else will be sort of spread out, through Ethereum, Cardano, a lot of different other ones. But I do believe that a lot of especially a lot of L2s and L3s will die fairly quickly, or not just die, but die off in users, active wallets, those sorts of things, as we really do gear towards some of these major chains. And I do think that something like a Scale network that's big into gaming and NFTs, that, you know, if they could sign, you know, an Epic Games or something big like that, as one of these big people do come in, it pretty much just locks them in, and then no one else is, you know, really in the market for gaming at that point. And then everyone will sort of gear towards that chain. And I do think that will sort of, you know, sort of bounce along over the next sort of, you know, 5 years or so, until we sort of narrow down that sort of playing field.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think. Oh, okay, my bad. My earbud is beeping at me. I think it's definitely going to get to that point, and I think the mass adoption point will be when you don't even know what chain you're on when you're using something.
100%.
You know what I mean? You're going to do, like you said, you're going to play games, and it's just on Scale. You know what I mean? When you go into DeFi, you're just on Solana or whatever it is. And I don't think it's that far away, but it is in the future, and it's going to be necessary. And like you said, all these other projects that are going to become the Netscapes of crypto, you know, to where everybody will rise to the top, you know.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. I think that we're really close. I think people have misunderstood where we're at in the whole sort of crypto scheme, and, you know, people freaking out over NFT prices, floor prices, you know, everything that's sort of happening along that path. And people have to remember that for the last 2 or 3 years, people have been wash trading and farming points and all sorts of things across the, you know, to stack, you know, coins, points, all sorts of different things. But the difference was, the last bull run, we pretty much had Bitcoin as the key, Ethereum for smart contracts and NFTs. Solana was starting to dip its toe into the water, and then it really did drop off quite quick. Where if you look at the playing field now, we've got BTC up top, and it really has become a real level playing field. And the liquidity spread over so many platforms through liquidity staking, vaults, points, farming, you know, all that sort of thing. It spread it all so thin that, you know, from an NFT at the top of Ethereum, you know, it's flattened back down to realistically probably where it should have been, as the majority of those NFTs weren't worth what they were worth. So I do think that, you know, the more that people can understand interoperability, multi-chain, when that's sort of coming, niche chains, and sort of take a back foot step and look at the markets and see what's changed over the last 4 years, people would stop panicking, stop playing with emotion, and be much better off for it.
So you're telling me that if my Bored Ape Yacht Club is now not worth 200 ETH that I bought it for, and it's only worth, like, you know what I mean, 20, that I shouldn't be stressed?
Well, look, mate, I think they're down to a price that they should be at. You know, I don't see, you know, I understand they were given a lot of free stuff, and people that did mint them and held them made a lot of money, but they haven't really done anything for quite a period of time that's been of any value. You know, like, you know, you can stake on third-party sites for a few ApeCoin, which isn't worth a ton of money at the moment, and things like that. So you sort of look at it and you say, well, okay, I've got a $100,000 asset that's making me $3 a day. You know, it's not great investing, you know, and that's the way I look at it. I look at it as an investing. Like, yes, we play some DGen stuff and some cheap things and have some fun at times. But I think the more that people look at, once you get to a point, it becomes investing, you know, not sort of speculation and fun, you know. And I think even at the moment, you know, 10 ETH for a Bored Ape, that's investing. That's not speculation or whatever. For me, it becomes an investment at that point. As you've got to think what you could do with, you know, 35 to 40K in your wallet, you know, as, you know, Desert was doing before, looking at markets and trading and things like that. There's a lot of avenues to make, you know, decent money on 40K in your wallet, rather than having to sit there making a couple of ApeCoin a day.
So Desert, what you missed was, wait, can you hear me?
Bro, I don't know what the hell is going on in my setup. My camera's glitching. My earbuds went out.
Okay.
I couldn't hear any. I thought I was listening.
But you can hear me now?
I couldn't hear anything. I can hear you now.
Okay, I was going to say the only thing you really missed, that Jade said that my 200 ETH Bored Ape that's now worth 10 ETH, he said that he thinks that that's about what it's worth and that I bought too high.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably bought a little too high.
Well, it just came. Look, it was all hype. You know, it was all hype. It was celebrities. It was everywhere. You know, Snoop and Eminem are trying to rock them on stage while they're, you know, performing and things. So it really did become a crazy hype cycle. And From there, from the top, we had blur farming, wash trading, everything all the way down. And I think now they're starting to get to a more organic level and a more organic price point. The ownership spread across, we don't have the same owners that we did. And look, I do think that Yuga Labs, with their sort of change of staff and things that are happening, I do believe that they will come back. They keep pushing their metaverse and things like that. I do believe that if a metaverse is going to succeed, it will be theirs. So I do think there's, it's a pretty good buying opportunity now at these prices. But I think now we're seeing a good organic price that is a better valuation rather than, being propped up by half a dozen wallets.
Yeah.
So when do you think the next NFT cycle is going to hit?
Next year.
Next year?
So
basically we get this parabolic run, crypto, people start taking profits, and then the NFT.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, well, look, mate, every asset class in the world runs on a 4-year cycle. So I don't see why NFTs should be any different, and we're on that sort of 4-year cycle at the moment, and we've hit our bottom. So I do believe that a bull run will come, and I think it coincides really well with where crypto's at over the next sort of 12 months into that sort of mid to late next year until the bull run starts to taper out. I think a lot of people are going to take some pretty big profits, as I do believe we're going to get some pretty big legs up in the future. And then the big shiny objects will come back. People will start flashing that money, and I do believe they will come back. But the big thing on this, which I've been preaching to people, is 90 to 95% of the projects will die from now until that point. They've already lost all their value, the builders, the revenues, all that sort of stuff's dried up, which is really difficult as a founder and a business to run with. And in that time period, which we've seen in many bull runs in the past, the NFT mints go crazy. The hype cycles come in, the money starts flowing, things start minting out in minutes, and all those other ones. Unless you're a fallen blue chip, which will come back, I do believe the majority of NFTs will effectively die throughout that next 12-month period, is my opinion anyway.
No, that totally makes sense. People mismanage funds. They leave it in whatever the coin of say they leave it in ETH or they leave it in ADA, and then that starts to dip. And then when they go to cash out to pay for stuff, they don't have the money to pay for stuff, or they blew their wad in the beginning and now they got to do another 5 mints to fulfill whatever random crazy thing they said they were going to build, Yeah. And
look, in some of these projects, and look, I'm always happy to say names and point fingers. I'm not a person that sort of shies away or hides, but the amount of money that some of these projects have made, look at it in Azuki, who had already made so many hundreds of millions of dollars, then had their elementals and their other mints that raised 30, 70, something crazy millions of dollars. I can't remember the exact figure, but they're not doing it.
Right.
I don't need the Azuki hate to come at me, but genuinely, we're sort of building 3 to 4 different businesses with major tools, gaming, all sorts of things on shoestring style budgets, where these places have got tens, 20s, hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue and build literally zero in the time frame. It's a rug.
There's a project, I'm not going to name which one it was, but in particular, it raised like.
Do you want me to name it?
No. But it raised like 50 million in like 24 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, the thing is that when you're building something,
butane,
and you pitch an idea, and then they give you all this money, right, before you've even built any of it, for the most part, like. At what point, then why would you build it? It's kind of like sort of the thing. You could just quit then at that point. If your whole goal is to build this $100 million business, and in a week you get $200 million, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people in the space that just don't.
And I actually posted about something similar last week, and I said, why are people investing and buying gaming NFTs? People are raising millions of dollars to build a game and then taking 3 years to build it. The NFT is worthless the whole period for 3 years as your investment. You don't own any of the business. You don't get any rev share because it's illegal, because it's not done as a public seed starter or something like that. And you might get an avatar in the game, but the game's publicly played and you can buy an avatar for $5 instead of investing $100 in a mint. Like there's so much in our market where, if you're going to build a good game, you've got a good team, go and raise the money. There's tons of VC and gaming VC out there at the moment, looking to get into, mobile gaming, Web 2 and Web 3 gaming, as they try to link all together to it's how many billions of people play. I just think, we've got in the hype cycle too much, and people really haven't understood what they're investing in. And until games, I would invest in a game if it was done as a public seed round, so that by buying an NFT, I held a percentage of the business. I think people would invest flat out, and then as that seed starter finishes, everyone that has put in money would then get their their NFT, so to speak, and it would be a million times better. It would be fully public and transparent, and that business could then go about its way and build. And I think by then being in the public eye, it would allow the teams the time to actually build, rather than being in the Web3 degen time where it takes time to build a game. And people after a month are saying, "Where's my game?" And something it takes 2 years. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, Web3 is when moon. That's the worst thing a founder can hear. When your Discord is nothing but whens. You know what I mean? We just minted out. When it's like. I think that's where I do okay as a founder, because I normally lead the when chat and put pressure on the devs. So that way the pressure doesn't come back on me so much. There you go.
100%. Yeah. So let's see. I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like that covers most all of it. Like, I'm just so excited for Kumodroid, and then I just have so many future use cases, right? Like you were talking about vaults, but one of the other businesses we're working on is building bridges, right? And so if we're building bridges, it would be amazing to have a vault that just stacks liquidity on the other side and maybe market makes in between, right? And
right.
There's so many huge use cases for what you guys are building. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, and like we said before, obviously, our sort of path was opened wide up with how well this sort of bot's being built and the team that we've got behind it. But you're the same for you. Like if you guys are building a bridge, you're in that perfect zone of that sort of interoperability, omni-chain setup where, a few years ago, it was a pipe dream, and the people that were doing it, but it was taking half hour to an hour, 3 hours. Some people weren't getting their money bridged across. It was costing $30, $50, $100. It was a real, it wasn't really something that you would do. You're better off just sending it off to a SEX, changing it over and sending it to where you need to. It cost you $5 and took 5 minutes. So it wasn't really, where now we're getting to the point where for $3 or $4 or $5, you can sort of bridge and it's pretty much instantly across into other chains. So I think you guys are in a great spot where that sort of omni-chain and interoperability is really going to sort of push forward. But yeah, look, with our stuff as well, rather than trapping liquidity just on one chain, you can be trapping liquidity, in the metaverse, so to speak, in the middle of everything and just sort of be, you can really, it does open up so much. It really does.
It's definitely, it's like in Cardano, it's kind of taboo. Like, oh, you guys are moving to Solana. It's like, no, we're expanding to Solana. Or except for the apes. The apes, they just left. They said, fuck Cardano. We're going to base.
Yeah, they said we're going to base.
You know what I mean? Screw those guys. But anybody that wants to build outside of Cardano, and you get so much hate for it, but it's necessary. You have to. Liquidity.
That's part of the best thing, and some of the best thing and the worst thing with Cardano is the cult. It's amazing right. Because the community and the support behind it is next to none. But it also means that when you do have some of these things float out, the hate, the FUD, everyone sort of turns a blind eye to it because there's been so much conflict, I suppose, between ETH, Sol, Cardano, XRP, all these sorts of things on chain. And as we start to see this interoperability on the chain coming up, we've already seen that a lot of that, FUD and hate and fighting has really slowed right down because now everyone, all the ETH guys are now on Sol and vice versa. And, people are really moving around a lot more. So it is a good period of time to see that happen. And it's nice that I've never done anything on Cardano. Don't even have a Cardano wallet, never got an NFT. So it's nice to now be sort of incorporating, going back and forth with some Cardano crew.
You saying that just now just gave me a brilliant idea. So I'm not gonna go too much into this, but have you played with Pump.fun yourself?
Had a look at it, mate. I don't play the meme coins too much. It's a bit too much high level gambling for my liking.
No, I feel that 100%. Well, but the thing that is special, there have been a lot of Solana guys over here on Cardano here lately, and the reason is because we have Pig Party? Pig.party.
Piggy Party.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Piggy Party is basically like Pump.Fun. It's a little bit more complicated how it works. It's kind of like if people like a coin or token, they have to like put money towards it, and then it hits a certain level, and then it attaches to a bonding curve, and then it's publicly tradable, right? And then so it basically removes the ability for people to fully just flat out rug. Like price can still go down, you know what I mean? But it can't go all the way to zero, basically, is the idea. But there's a lot of Soul people that have been over here playing with that, really enjoying it, because it's not as PvP the same kind of way over here. I mean, it is a little bit, but it's not the same. It's not like Solana where like the tokens only last like literally 2.5 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and look for me, the reason that I don't play meme coins, like I'd prefer to go to the casino and play poker or go and try to beat the house somewhere. I think you've got more chance of doing that than beating on Pumped on Fun. I reckon 50 people are making money and 40 of them are ruggers and serial ruggers just continually launching coins and rugging. You can't beat them. You don't know when it's going to happen. It's all manipulated. Right. No one's truly making money in the meme coin market. They claim that they are, but there's not many out there. There's a handful, but not many. So like I'd prefer to go and have a bit more fun and play some cards or do something else and feel like I actually have some sort of a chance where every time I enter a meme coin, I know that I've got zero chance of making money. And, it's just a silly degen move. And in the end, it's just a waste. That's my opinion. I know everyone's different, but if I was...
Hey, that's 100%. For every coin they post that they did a 20x, there's probably 20 coins they don't post where they lost everything.
Yeah, and for me, I don't quite understand this sort of meta that we've gone through for this 12-month period where utility coins are becoming useless and meme coins are the future. Like they're rugs, they're scams, they're not building anything, most of them aren't doing anything. There's a few out there that are. Like I'm not saying that as a broad sort of spectrum, but I'm just saying as a majority, they're there just as a money maker for people in the background. And I just don't understand why you wouldn't buy Solana. We had Solana at $8 and no one wanted to buy it. Everyone said it was a piece of shit, and all it was the FTX pressure from their selling. Like anyone that actually did some deep dive and looked would have seen that. You had the perfect opportunity. It's gone from $8 to pretty much $200 now. In a 12 to 18 month period. But instead, people said, "Nah, that's bullshit," and dove into meme coins. And I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me.
I didn't buy into it either until it got back to about 40 or 50, because you see it at 260. You see FTX, you see it drop to 8, and you're like, it's done. But the people with conviction, the people that looked into it, you're right.
Yeah, looking at the devs that were still there, the active wallets, people still using it, like the chain hadn't died. They had huge selling pressure from the FTX bag, and everything else was still operating in business as usual. There was obviously still some FUD and some people did jump ship, but I just think if you looked at the real metrics of the chain and what it was doing, it just didn't make sense to not buy it at $8.
Right.
Yeah, but that's just me.
I mean, that was definitely a good trade right there. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, definitely.
I should have picked up some more Solana at $8. I'll tell you. Hindsight is 20/20.
And have you got a shill for Cardano for me? Why should I buy Cardano? Is there a shill on Cardano at the moment?
Yeah. I can give you a couple of different reasons. I mean, I would say, like, honestly, just the fact that the chain never stops, right? The security is like top tier. And then the scalability part that will compete and rival Solana and some of these other chains along with that security is like very close around the corner. So I would say, like, for some of the like institutional large use cases such as decentralized identification, right, the digital IDs, and then also just like medical data and like software protection, security, and also like dissemination and storage of, there's a lot of different nuances to the Cardano tech stack that I think is unique, and it's going to have its use case in the like global markets, right? Yeah. So, I mean, that would be probably my biggest shill. I also I see a lot of things that are being built here, and I think there's a lot of care and thought into how they're being built, which is a lot of people's like thing that they say against Cardano. They're like, oh, it's slow, they're not doing anything over there, but it's because it's all peer reviewed. there's a lot of steps that it takes before something actually like is developed. And I think the things that are developed are built pretty solid. If that makes sense.
I still see Cardano as a major chain as well. And I do believe that, as we're talking about with that bridging and omni-chain and cross-chain and those sorts of things opening up, I do believe that once the liquidity is opened up through those bridges and things that you can do, I do think it will change pretty substantially for Cardano. I just don't think a lot of people at the moment, with their negativity for Cardano, want to go onto KuCoin and buy ADA, because it feels wrong. You know what I mean? And I think once they realize that there's a lot of liquidity there, a lot of good stuff, and there's a lot of interoperability and bridging to make it seamless, I think things will start to change for ADA.
But what I will say is you got to download a Tokyo wallet or Tokyo Pay wallet, right?
Tokyo wallet.
They're like pretty brand new, right? You have an iPhone probably.
Yep, I've got 2 phones. I've got a Solana Saga as well.
Oh, really? Do you
Solana
like
Maxi.
Good?
It's not, but it is. It's very basic, but I like that it's very basic. It works really well. I use it it's not attached to Wi-Fi, it has a SIM card, and I use it purely as a sort of a transportable cold wallet, so to speak, with the way I've set it up. So it works really well for the way I use it. I think if you use it if you got rid of your iPhone and use it as a full-time phone, it would be shit. But using it for, as a vault, so to speak, that you can carry around in your pocket, I think it works really, really well.
That's awesome. But I would say get a Tokyo Pay wallet. We'll make sure that you get a Boss NFT and the JPEG bosses, which are minting right now. So everybody in here, make sure that you have one. But then also there's some really cool projects. Okay, so there's Igon. Igon is doing like a decentralized cloud storage. So kind of that would be like sort of like Arweave, but it is HIPAA compliant and it shards the actual information. So it's divided into pieces so that nobody can see it. Right? It's a lot more secure. And I think that one is going to have a huge infrastructural place in the future when it comes to medical related data. And then, I mean, there's a lot of things. I don't know, Desert, what are some of your World
Mobile Token?
I know someone that's got I know someone that's got a World Mobile NFT. One of my friends has got one of those expensive suckers.
Probably.
Yeah, the Earth Node.
I think they're like $70,000 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, ridiculous.
$100,000.
As a project, though, they look like they're doing some amazing things. I did have a look once. He did tell me that he had an ADA NFT, and then sort of looked into what it was. Obviously the node, and they do look like they're doing some crazy things.
Yeah, and then so I mean, like that. There's a lot of cool stuff that's over here. Lately there have been meme coins, but it's because like I feel like that there's this perception from Cardano. They're like, oh well, Solana has that like volume and liquidity, right? Because all these meme coins are popping off all the time. You see all these, meme coins. It looks like a straight green candle all the way up. And then so I feel like on Cardano, people like that FOMO was what made them create it here, right? So that we can have them, right?
Yeah. And, is Nike still running? Nike was a big one, wasn't it, a few weeks ago?
So it definitely was a big one. And I wouldn't say that it's... Okay, so it's definitely not running. It's definitely down. But it has a lot more going for it now than it did then, right? There are like 2 really big swaps now that basically like burn some of the supply as it gets used, as well as some of the supply is being used to fund sex listings. So like the second that it gets listed on sex, it'll pump. Also, just with them
after about 5 days, it will pump. I was actually reading an article and I spoke to someone about it that it was mainly on MEXC. A lot of these sort of low to mid cap coins that were getting listed on MEXC, the best thing to do was hit 40x leverage shorts, and it just tanked as soon as it opened. They would rebuy in their bag, and after about 5 days, everyone was longing and it went mental, and people were just making hand over fist on the on the public.
Tiny man. Do you know anything about Algorand?
Nothing at all besides they're big on CBDCs, so then I did the U-turn.
No, 100%. But they have a DEX that's called Tiny Man, and the Tiny token just got launched on MEXC today. So like now you got me thinking, 40x leveraged it down, or look for the top, and
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Very interesting. But yeah, so Nike will probably get a centralized exchange listing, and then it has a lot of buy side pressure that is getting built up by people using the natural dexes on Cardano. So I think long term it has a lot more potential, but it definitely pumped really hard at the beginning, and then now it's just kind of like people are bored out of it.
Yeah, I don't think some people are doing it okay, but I don't think people are using the meme coins for what they really could be. If you can set a good meme and set it up properly and have a really good run, it can become a high-level utility token. I know that when you do start to change gears, you do get your major dips because the meme sort of isn't quite memeing, so people will sort of dive out of it and things like that. But I do think it's an unbelievable way to raise money and to build a big user base. You got to look at gaming. Use gaming for example. You want to raise 500 grand, so you have an NFT mint. You end up with 2,000 unique holders. But for a game to be sustainable, you need 20,000 players or more, actively playing.
Right.
Otherwise, it's not really a successful game, or not going to have longevity if you can't get to those sorts of numbers. These people are starting meme coins, and after a week or two, they've got 30, 40, 50,000 unique holders. Like I just think if you can get to a period where you can raise the money, you have a successful coin, have a large user base, the world's your oyster as to what you can do.
I think the people that are launching these meme coins though don't have the acumen to go forward through that. You know what I mean? They're not all like Shiba, you know what I mean? Yeah. Which is now like, they got their own Shiba verse or something like this, or
they got like a chain and stuff. Yeah,
but they are building out. You know what I mean? Most of these coins, it's just some degen in a basement dropping a coin. They're getting the money, and then they're like, and then the ones that have the team and the acumen, they pump 1 or 2x and then pretty much die because no one wants to get into it because it's not being pumped by all the goons and influencers. Right.
It's 100% it. Like, I was talking about potentially dropping a meme coin one day, and I was talking to somebody that is very well connected, and they were like, yeah, just make sure I get my allocation. I was like, geez, it's really like that. It's really like that with these people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I even asked people. We sort of had a chat about a few things as well about similar to what I was talking about, being a great avenue to raise money and build a big user base and things like that, and it potentially gives you a lot of options onto what you can do. And I sort of just spoke to a few friends that were very big into meme coins, buying, selling, trading, holding, and actually sort of advising. And people wanted an allocation on a coin that wasn't even a coin yet. It's like just for having a quick chat with a friend, and I was like, it's a crazy playing field. It's definitely something that my head doesn't get around real well.
But I mean, that would be massive. Like if you think about video games, right? I was looking at the Nintendo Switch. One of those little games is $60, right? If you're buying an Xbox game, it's gonna be like $60, $80, right?
Yep.
And same with PlayStation. And then so if you were to drop a meme coin, right, raise all this money, build this amazing game, and then charge them in that token for because really you just want the user base, then right there, I mean, you've fundraised a whole bunch of money, you've given the token utility, and then maybe there's some uses inside of the game for that token. Like, yeah, man.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's mental. Like Pepe coin on ETH has 250,000 people holding. Just as an example, I know there's a couple of them, but that's just one of them for an example. Like you've got a 250,000 holder user base to build whatever you want to do. You got the money to build it and the users to have it. And I just think that when some good teams start to realize that have the sort of influences and the KOLs and the things needed to really pump the coin, I do really believe that that's the way that a lot of people are going to start to launch utility coins, because as you can see at the moment, meme coins are doing well. Every utility coin that gets launched, farmed, airdropped, whatever, just completely tanks. And Yeah, I think it's sort of starting to pave the way, showing us how we should be building and should be raising and sort of building those user bases.
I know I've gotten in on a couple pre-sales lately, and straight utility RWA plays. The Minute Network is one of them. Palm Economy is another one.
Oh, dude, wait. Palm Economy. Listen, that is a really cool thing on Cardano, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Palm Economy, they're basically creating a commodities market, right? So like it's RWAs. So if there's somebody in like, say like some part of Asia and they've got some mass amount of tea or coffee beans that they need to like place with a seller, that can be the place that you can buy like those large quantities of commodities.
What did you say the name was? Calm, did you? CALM?
Oh,
yeah. There was a meeting with them this morning.
The point of it was that if these were, I've been waiting for like about a month because the sale is still going on. But if these were meme coins, they would have sold out freaking instantly. You know what I mean? But since they actually have utility, it's not sexy. Nobody wants to buy in. You know what I mean? And Minute Network is like a decentralized communications network through VoIP. It's actually, I think it's the brother of the guy that founded World Mobile Token. You know, so.
Well, let me put it this way to you. Look at the backwards way that DGods and Yuga Labs have done it. So imagine that a token had to come out first, Dust and ApeCoin, and then it runs like a meme/utility coin, builds a user base. You mint out everything. It becomes a circular economy. You mint out all these projects. If they go on the runs they do, what's the price of ApeCoin and Dust at the moment with everything that's happened over the last sort of few years? There's no way known that Bored Apes are 10 ETH and DGods are 12 Sol, because if it was done the other way around, it would have been absolutely mental. The coin would have sustained everything. Where by doing it the other way, then the pressure is on, everything then ties back to the coin. The coin's a low cap, low price, and it just drags everything down. It's done it with Bored Ape Yacht Club and everything around it. And, it's effectively done it for DGods as Dust was the only utility.
That's a good point. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's some alpha right there. All right, so we're coming up here on the hour and a half, so this will be it, and we'll have to have you back again when you all have some huge announcements. We'll have to have you back. So to the 150 viewers that we have right now, what would be your final thoughts? What do you want to leave them with, and like a little bit about, I don't know, crypto, Kumodroid, how you feel about the space, the direction we're going? What are you thinking?
Yeah, look, it doesn't have to be based on one of my businesses. I just think have conviction and buy and sell with less emotion. They're probably the two biggest things that I really try to do myself. Actually do some homework. People say DYOR and NFTs, which is nearly impossible because there's lack of roadmaps and KYC and so much information. But when you're looking at all these coins, similar to what I mentioned about before with Sol, we had daily active wallets, devs, things being built. There's still so much happening on the chain. Like if you looked at the right metrics, you could still see that the chain was active and pumping. In the back channels, and that happens so much. There's other people that would give me huge convictions on some chains, and then you look at it and there's about 3 developers on the chain. It's like it's not going anywhere. There's nothing being built. So sell your bags, sell the shit that's doing nothing for you. If you don't have the belief and you don't see it being used properly, the metrics aren't right, get out of it. Streamline your bag, buy with conviction, buy and sell with less emotion, and strap in for the next 12 months because, once this election happens, I can tell you right now, if RFK or someone like that becomes president with what he's looking to do with Bitcoin, our sector is going to go absolutely mental. So make sure your bags are packed. Because even Trump, because everyone thinks he's pro crypto, which he isn't. He's just doing it to buy votes at the moment. As you could see in his last Bitcoin speech, he was useless. Doesn't know what he's talking about. Where RFK came in with the plan, structure, it was brilliant. The speech goes for 4 or 5 minutes. It was unbelievable. For me, I was so bullish on that, and I was like, get him in now, get him in. But that's probably it for me. I just think 80 to 90% of the space is doing it wrong. And I think that, things like Kumodroid, what you guys are doing, people can start to get conviction and start to use the right tools and implement them. They're going to have a ton of more success in the future than what they would have in, just completely degenning.
Amazing.
100%.
100%. But all right, Jade, we appreciate you for joining us today. And we'll have to have you back sometime soon. And dude, so excited and bullish on Clementine's Nightmare. I'll tell you what. I'm actually really excited right now for Beetlejuice.
Yeah, me too. Huge nostalgic fan of Beetlejuice, man. I'm so pumped for that one. It's going to be brilliant. But yeah, look, mate, it's been a pleasure being on here. Obviously, we've chatted before, guys, but it's great sort of seeing your faces and interacting like we have. It's been a really good time. And maybe in sort of 2 to 4 weeks, as we've got some sort of holder testing and we can visually show some proper on-chain things happening in real time, it would be another pretty fun space to do.
That would be fantastic.
Yes, definitely. We'll definitely have to do that.
Definitely. All right. Thank you, Jade. We'll see you next time around.
Have a good one.
All right. Desert. How'd you feel?
I feel like
you're going to get a Kumo. You're going to buy a Kumodroid NFT off the floor. That's what it is. They're 0.2 SOL. Actually,
I probably should. No, I feel like I was distracted during the whole thing and I couldn't give him my full attention. I feel bad about that. My internet, look, everything is freaking going crazy, and that's all I can see, and that's all I can think about it.
It's the Russians, man.
So I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on. Maybe I got to reboot my computer. I don't know, but I don't feel I gave the full attention to what was going on.
But these are them.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to have to actually buy some SOL to do that.
That's fair.
I don't own any SOL.
That's fair. But yeah, man.
On SOL, but I don't own any SOL.
Well, I'll buy a handful if the beer frog that I bought earlier today at a $5,000 market cap goes to 100,000. I'll buy everybody in the chat. I'll gift everybody a SOL. Jokes. But no. Dude, it was great. I think that was a really great conversation. I mean, yeah. I can't wait to clip all the stuff. So everybody that's here, make sure you like, repost, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and if you're not on YouTube, if you hop over to YouTube, go to @Jpg Empire and you hit like and subscribe. It'll mean a lot to us because we always get a whole lot of people on Twitter, but we don't get that many people on YouTube.
And if you want access to the Kumodroid bot, and you're on Cardano, picking up a JPEG boss is going to be the only way you get access, and that will be through Token Empire Pro version.
Yes, and we're gonna have some special secret sauce with that, right? We're gonna be doing some special things. Yes, and YouTube is more interactive. We appreciate that, and that is so true. And then Crypto Jesus, look, I was going to shout out to you. I'm sorry I didn't. We were just deep in the weeds, but we appreciate you so much for being here, and we love you, man. You're amazing. And everybody else, I hope you've had a wonderful time and have learned a whole lot. And I feel like, dude, I'm just so bullish on the direction the space is going, to be honest. All right. But on that note, I can tell by the face that it is time for